Welcome back, listeners, to another enlightening episode of Mind Over Matter, the podcast where we explore the depths of the human experience and uncover the wisdom that can transform our lives. I'm your host, Sana, and today we have a truly remarkable guest with us, Lillian Savoie. From feeling lonely and unfulfilled to becoming a master manifester and love guru, Lillian's journey is a testament to all of us and to the power of self healing and intuition. With certifications in Reiki energy healing, Kundalini yoga, dance, and gong therapy, Lillian has dedicated her life to helping women create lives full of love, purpose, and balance. And today on Mind Over Matter, we'll be diving into this fascinating world of self healing and discover how you can overcome pain in the body by trusting your intuition. Yeah, your intuition and accessing the wisdom which is already out there in the world. So, Lillian, welcome to the show, and we all are excited to have you today with us.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here too.
Lovely. Lillian, talking about your journey, from
So
you.
I'm really passionate about the self-healing part of it because it does relate to love, and that is one of my favorite topics to talk about is love.
Beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. We need to talk more about this, not just the tangible achievements or what we have done, what not we have done, but this is something we should all talk about. And the beauty of this part is it all starts with the personal journeys, the lessons we take, the wisdom we seek, and the experiences we have. And that's the kind of gift we would all want to share with the world out there. So with that, your journey from feeling lonely and unfulfilled to now becoming a master manifester, it's truly transformative and inspiring. So if you can share what initially sparked your interest in self-healing and intuition?
So as far as being a master manifester, I was always having trouble finding just true love. I would date just people not great for me, and I would just attract the wrong people, and I ended up having a terrible first divorce, and it was really brutal, and it changed me at my core. And I remember meeting my second husband. We're married now, but we went on a trip and we went out of the country, and we said we probably should have gotten married there, but we didn't. I came home with probably at least 4 or 5 parasites, and I was distraught. My belly looked like I was 6 months pregnant, and obviously I wasn't. I was in pain. I had gained 20 pounds. And I just remember thinking, how can I finally, after, I'm trying to think how old I was. I think I was maybe 38. I remember thinking, like, how can I be this happy in love and finally met my person, and I'm also this sick? I was just floored of how I could have such extremes in my life, and I knew I wasn't the only one. So, that began my journey of self-healing because I had never had that many bugs, worms. It was disgusting. I mean, I came home with Giardia, Cryptosporidium. I had roundworms. I was eating sushi and scallops and drinking water from another country, but I just couldn't believe that I was really that infected. So I started to really tap into why did I attract this? So I attracted the perfect love, but then I attracted the perfect sickness. The kind that hides in the body, the kind that screws with your mind. The parasites hide in your tissues, in your organs. They create other symptoms. So you think it's something else, but it's really them. And then what really messed with me is, since I teach intuition, that's my first passion. I love talking about love, but I teach intuition so that other women and men like me can find their true love by listening to their intuition.
Mm.
But then that intuition has to come in and spend so much time healing the body. And so I remember just, struggling for this for, 1 to 2 years, really trying to get to the bottom of who can help me and not feeling like, my body was not of service to me. And I was grateful for my body, but I just didn't understand because Western medicine doesn't really focus on parasites.
Mm.
So I did feel alone again, which is wild because I was so happy in my love life. But then I was felt alone. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get all these parasites out of my body? So I began reading just books, which I'll mention a few books that I just love, but I really dug into my spiritual practice in a whole nother realm again, because I had I dug in first with spirit guides and psychic and intuition and mediumship. And then here it comes again to challenge me again of how can you use your intuition a different way to actually heal your body?
Mm. Wow. Oh, what a journey. What a journey, Lillian. And thank you for being so candid and sharing your journey with all of us. So, following up to this, what were some of the first immediate steps you took to get out of that, zone and start your journey in self-healing?
So one of the books that I love, I have kind of 3 books that I love. One of them is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. She was kind of the godmother to the beginning of how our body is connected to illness and how we attract illness into our body to learn from the lessons that we need to learn. And so that's a very easy and colorful book to really dig into and learn how our mind controls our body. And if we think we are sick, we will be sick. If we think we are in love and happy, we will be in love and be happy. And she breaks down all the mind, which is funny. It's mind over matter. It's exactly what your podcast is. But she breaks down how the mind controls the body, and then she breaks down every illness. So I love that. And that really taught me how I am in control of my body. So then the second book that I love, and this was kind of an investment for me to purchase because it's not a normal book. It's more like a manual. It's called Messages
Mhm.
from the Body. And it's a big, thick Michael Lincoln. It's a big, thick book, and it's his life's work. And he goes into every single illness and everything, every single disease. And it helps you dig into even family generational thought patterns, what you were taught as a kid, what you were taught as an adult, what you were programmed with. It's really, really cool.
Mm. Wow. Well, thanks for sharing, these absolutely useful resources for listeners out there as well. And, it's amazing to know how a single moment or a realization can really set us on a completely new path. I think many of our listeners can relate to that feeling of wanting more out of life. In fact, for me as well. So, Lillian, many people they struggle with trusting their intuition. It can be connected to their self-limiting beliefs, or maybe any kind of childhood trauma, or kind of judging themselves all the time, especially when it comes to healing. So, what advice would you give to someone who is skeptical about their own intuitive abilities?
Well, what I really, it came to me this week, we have to lighten up about it. And we're constantly using our intuition all day long, every day. And we're either using it to improve our lives or we're using it to bring in more fear and more devastation into our lives. And so first, you have to make a choice of, are you improving your life every day with your thoughts and your actions, or are you not? Because as I coach a lot of people, my main and most fun thing to teach is meditation. And I teach meditation because when I was going through all my Kundalini certifications, there is a Kundalini meditation for everything: love, prosperity, dumping the subconscious thoughts. You know, there are books and books and books about anything that you want to solve in your life. And the number one pushback I get from people is, I don't have time to meditate.
Yeah.
And until you actually meditate, you're not really tapping into your own intuition. And so you might get a hit to go to the store and get milk because you just remembered that you need milk, or you heard it from a little voice that you need milk for the cereal for tomorrow morning. That's your intuition. And that's as simple as it comes. But there's also an intuition that tells you, hey, you don't need to follow that story anymore. It's not for your highest and best interest. And so your intuition can be very surface. It can be very funny. It can be very needed. It can avoid you having accidents or driving at the right time, at the right speed, taking the right turn. And then it can be very deep, like how to heal your childhood trauma, like you mentioned, or how to unprogram something that's just running in your head, telling you you're not pretty, or you're not smart, or you're not kind. And so meditation and your intuition can help really unwind those old patterns that are just running in your mind.
Wow. Also, when we talk about physical pain, it can really feel overwhelming and, insurmountable. So, how do you approach healing physical pain through intuitive practices?
So physical pain is pretty tricky, because the first thing you want to do is you want to blame the body. So I have made it a practice to just really honor the pain first. The pain is the messenger. And so it's just bringing a message, because you've missed the message because you're not tapping into your intuition. You've missed the message that's come to you probably 10, 15, 20 times. And see, that's the key. If you are going and learning about your intuition every day, or meditating every day to tap into that intuition, you're going to get the message when it hits the first layer of your aura, instead of going all the way into your knee. And now you have a severe knee problem. So the first thing I tell people is, don't miss the message. And don't miss your moment. And your moment is spending time with yourself. Truly spending time to listen to what's going on in the body. For those parasites that I had, and I still have a few left, because I still have Lyme and a co-infection with Bartonella that I'm getting rid of. And so I'm on this kind of Lyme journey with my daughter, which has been very interesting, because a lot of people have Lyme because there's a lot of mosquitoes out and a lot of ticks. And so those are the carriers. So that pain comes across, let's say in Lyme, because I have experience with that, it comes across as body aches. But red wine also gives me body aches. And eating dairy and pizza also gives me body aches. So as a self-healer, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut out the pizza first, because, I can do that more easily. Then I'm going to do red wine. And then I'm going to see how I feel in about a month. And then I'm going to start going into all the Lyme stuff. Okay, why did I attract this? What can I do to clean up my gut? What supplements can I add in? What herbs can I add in?
Mm.
And see, the thing with people, what I find most is that most people do not want to do all of those things. They want to just take a pill, let's say for fibromyalgia, which is a cause of parasites. It's body aches.
Mm.
But see, we got to get to the root. So I really want to encourage people, and this really connected to me when I read about your podcast, is I want to encourage people to really not be afraid to dive into their own bodies.
Lovely. Lovely. This is really something very profound yet hard hitting.
Yes.
And it's really fascinating to know how our bodies and minds are so interconnected. Although we have seen many examples, instances, resources out there, but learning to listen to our bodies, it can be really a very powerful tool for healing. Also, Lillian, you have a diverse background in various healing modalities. So, how do you integrate these different practices in your approach to self healing?
So my number one go-to is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I do, right now, I'm really into frequency healing. That's my current love. So right now I put myself and a few of my friends on a 40-day challenge because I love doing 40-day challenges. I put myself and some friends and my husband on a 40-day challenge to clear the subconscious. Because personally, I'm working on a business goal that I have put off for many years because of upper limiting beliefs, like you mentioned earlier. So I'm doing a meditation that is all about forgiveness, forgiving yourself. And it's been so powerful how much we shame and blame ourselves
Yep.
to the point of sickness. So it's just wild what comes out when you clear your subconscious and all those thoughts and things that you didn't even know you were holding on to. So that's been really what I'm working on right now. The other thing I've been doing is a lot of frequency meditation. So I meditate every day with my Tesla healing lights. So it has violet lights, red light, green light, blue light, all the lights that heal on that level. And then it has amethyst, tuning forks. And then I play the gong. So yesterday I just played the gong, and the gong, it's just like no other. The gong clears you, all the layers of your aura, all your internal organs. And then on top of that, it takes you outer space is the best way to describe it, because it takes you to a place you didn't know could feel so peaceful.
Mm.
And if I can get to that peaceful spot once a day and get my mind and my body on the same page, so yesterday I did it for about 15 minutes, and then my meditation was 40 minutes. So yesterday was kind of a longer day. And so I try to get in about 45 minutes if I can every day, but a minimum of 11. And if I can find that peace between 11 and 45 minutes every day and then make it a habit, then I know my body and my mind will be living in harmony. And that is the best that I can do. That is the best. And so if I get sick beyond that, or if something happens, then I know I've done my best, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you mention about frequency healing, I think sound, scientifically and spiritually speaking, sound or music, some of the music or sounds, excuse me, we can relate, maybe we have heard in our childhood, and that kind of soothes your mind and body down, maybe reducing anxiety or lowering blood pressure. And as you mentioned about gong, there's crystal bowls, then bells or rain sticks, drums, flute, sitar, some of the Indian instruments. Those sounds are so meditative. It kind of, I mean, gives you that goosebumps. So, I can totally, imagine how out of the world you must be feeling.
And a sound is, and when we were young, when I was young, they didn't talk about how it related to, a spiritual practice. We just knew we were just going to church and hearing the handbells. But,
Mm.
no one talked about back then how it could help with your mental health or emotional healing or, bring you through a very dark place to a light place. And now I just love how it's out there, that sound, what we grew up with, like you said, playing the flute. I played the clarinet for a little bit. My daughter played the piano. All that sound is healing. And the fact that they are linking that now through, personal experiences, but also science and cellular, all the new information coming out. It's just so exciting that it's like, this has been around for millions of years. And now it's like, they've been able to prove that it's doing, something to us in a good way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, Lillian, today you help others achieve their greatest goals in love, health, and career. So, how do you suggest our listeners can start applying some of the principles that you apply in your coaching approach into their own lives?
Well, if they're book readers, then they can buy my book on Amazon, which is called Fill Your Soul the Feminine Way. And I give lots of tips on how to meditate. I actually write out the meditation for you so they can either record it or read it out loud. And it has a lot of mantra work for the mind that we talked about, really just staying in a sense of gratitude, but also working on career and job and believing in yourself. I've got some inspirational stories in there of clients and my own personal family stories that have, because all families go through darkness to light. All families have struggles. And so I talk about my blended family and, really bringing that in and hopefully helping other people that are on their second marriages or trying to blend the families in or even going through a spiritual journey. I think a lot, at least down here in the South,
Mm-hmm.
it's very much not frowned upon, but it's very much considered like witchcraft and voodoo. And I'm just so tired of that because it's just people wanting to feel better and it's their spiritual journey. And I'm tired of the judgment around it. And so I just want people to know that it's normal and people seek better jobs, better health, better love. And that is part of the human experience. So I think they'll find it in my book. I also have my own podcast if you ever want to listen to it, but it's called Awaken Change. And so I do talk about all these, from the weird things going on that I love, visiting a different realm while I'm in the gong, to very real stuff like narcissism and, loving the body that you're in.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we have all the details mentioned in the show notes for our listeners to refer to and connect with you, listen to your podcast, and also leverage the resources you mentioned today in this conversation. And thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey and also wisdom with us. And, I think, it's so relatable and so resonating to know your story, and understand that, we all have the ability to heal ourselves and create the lives we desire without any judgment and full of self-compassion and personal growth. So thank you so much, Lillian.
Beautifully said, Sana. Thank you for having me. And I hope this helps a lot of people.
To all our listeners, I hope you found this conversation as enlightening and inspiring as I did. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit from Lillian's insights. To connect with Lillian, refer to the show notes along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, keep exploring the depths of your mind and embracing the journey of self-discovery. Thank you.